Does your relationship with a teen seem hopeless? Teens of today face so many heavy issues, from bullying to pregnancy. They want someone to turn to, but they aren't sure where to start. We've got some answers. This is Tools for Teen Transformation with Lily Williams. We can provide tools to help teens and their parents see things a bit differently and open up the lines of discussion. Now, here's Coach Lily.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Tools for Teen Transformation Radio. I am your host, Coach Lily Williams. I am a John Maxwell certified life coach, consultant, speaker, and trainer. And I am owner and CEO of Perfecting Destiny Coaching Services. We help teens to become productive citizens and to live their best lives by helping them to fall in love with themselves and to get rid of limiting belief, thoughts, and ideas that does not add value to their lives. We believe we can change teen behavior by changing what and how teens think. Today's topic is going to be teens helping teens. How about that? And it's going to be from a teen's perspective. Today's show, we're going to share some ideas and information directly from the mouth of teens. We've interviewed them, we've talked to them, we've read with them or read about them, and we've documented some things that we've spoken with teens about, our guest and I today. Now, we're certainly going to accept the teen responses because we have to and we need to. But we will offer ideas, suggestions, mindsets, and choices to add value to the lives of the teens that hear us today. Now, you're going to be totally interested in what we have prepared for you on today. My special guest today is Pastor Sherry Squires, and we have, like I said, directly from the mouth of teens. We've got a teen that's going to be on our show with us today. Pastor Squires, will you introduce yourself and then give way to our guest to introduce himself?
Yes, thank you for having me, Coach Lily. This is Pastor Sherry Squire from Standing in the Truth Ministry, Incorporated, and I'm the owner and the CEO, and I am glad to be on the radio today talking about teens helping teens. And just know that I am so excited. It's all about our teens at this time. Right now, I'd like to introduce Zaire Harris. Go ahead, Zaire.
Good morning. My name is Amir Harris. I live in Durham, North Carolina. I attend New Metropolitan Faith Witness Baptist Church on 1509 Riddle Road in Durham, North Carolina.
I am certainly glad to have both of you with us this morning. And I'm sure our audience is ready to hear from the mouth of a teen. I'm sure they are. And I'm sure that they're interested in what Pastor Squires and I have gleaned from talking with these teens. So because we are Tools for Teen Transformation, that's what we will be trying to highlight on today. Talking about our teens, we know that teenagers really face real problems. They face real problems on a daily basis, and they go through growth stages, and all of the things that teens have to deal with are not so easy. Sometimes it's very, very challenging. And we are going to start our segment, the first segment this morning, talking about some of the difficulties that teens might be having. We'll be talking about some of the challenges that teens are having. And all three of us will kind of give our perspective. But Zaire, would you like to be the first to just talk about one of the things that you know from being a teen that is a real challenge for teens on this morning? Let us let you go first this morning.
One of the things is our personalities.
Okay.
We think we know it all.
a real good one. That's a real good one. How, teens just, well, and that's just a teen mindset, isn't it? How they think that they just know it all. Now, and let me say that, some of the challenges that we've talked about when we're talking with teens too, Zaire, some of them have mentioned to us that, we're talking about teens all over the world, and some of them, their biggest challenge being teenagers are drug and alcohol use. Some of the biggest challenges with teenagers that they reported to us are, their sexual activity. We've talked more times than one about them being bullied, and some teens are going through depression. Some are looking at academic problems, and we'll be talking about that some on some of our shows. And peer pressure and social media, crime. When we talk about that, violence, scenes on violence, the video games and things that they play, so many difficult, challenging things. And Zaire, you just mentioned that, teens are with the mindset that think that they know everything, that they can do everything by themselves and that kind of situation. You and I, all of us would have difficulty targeting just one thing, wouldn't we? Because everything is so interrelated. Pastor Squires, with your conversations, what have you heard that just sticks right out at you?
Well, some of the teens are saying that they're not being heard, that when they try to reach out for someone to talk to, that they have no one to talk to. And when they try to give their suggestions, sometimes we're not listening as adults, that they're not able to express themselves for being who they really are.
Wow, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. And you said that in an adult term, and Zaire just said pretty much that same thing in a teen term. From a teen perspective, they think they pretty much know everything. It's because, I guess, Zaire, they, just like Pastor Squire said, they feel that they're misunderstood, so they have to try to make themselves, know, think, and feel what it is they think they ought to know, think, and feel. Zaire, do you want to comment on what Pastor Squires just said?
Yes. As teens, we don't believe that drugs are addicting.
Probably. Okay, probably not. And I would think that they probably don't believe that it's hard to not experience with them, particularly because just like Pastor Squire said, sometimes they're misunderstood, and sometimes, their feelings and thoughts are not validated, so they just experience things for themselves. And I think maybe drugs is one of those things that they just experience for themselves. We're still talking about challenges that teens are facing. And Zaire, you mentioned the first one, substance abuse. You said they don't believe that, it's addicting. They don't believe that it's going to hurt them. They just do pretty much recreational, I would assume, in the beginning at least. Substance abuse is rampant. It is rampant, meaning it is all over the world, everywhere. It does not discriminate, substance abuse. And we talk about the teens experiencing substance abuse. Can I speak with you one more minute, Pastor Squires. We talked about parents in the home experiencing that same kind of situation. Did we? Did we mention that? That the kids said that the parents were experiencing those same kinds of situations?
That is correct. There were a lot of teens saying that they could go home and they actually could entertain the drugs with their parent. They actually said that they drink and they also smoke marijuana with their parents. That is okay at their home.
And that, my radio audience, is from the mouth of teens. That's from a teen perspective. Now, that is an area that would have to be some validated from their own homes. Many teens are still feeling misunderstood. Many teens are feeling that this is not what needs to happen, but they are not able to control what's happening, and that's a real issue with teens. They cannot control their environment and what's happening with them. So that is an area that we certainly would need to address to help our teens, to help them to get their mind sets better, to give them better ideas, that they would not have those experiences. I've heard teens mention the absentee parents in their homes. When they go home, they're not parents and caring adults in the home. A lot of times they're single parents in the home, and the parents have to be employed outside the home. So every issue that we take on this morning and every challenge that we have with teens, one challenge and one issue will lead to another. Do you think? Do you think, Zaire, do you think that we could just say one thing would mean more than any other thing to a teenager? Do you think we could just straighten out the whole world if we could get the drugs right, or we would straighten out all the teenagers if we could get their academic problems right? Do you think that, Zaire?
Maybe not all of them, but maybe most of them, majority.
That's a good response. That's a good response. We're starting somewhere. You maybe not all of them, but we're starting. We also, Pastor Squires mentioned them being misunderstood and not being validated. Let me say, as a coach, and I'm so happy that we're able to talk from the mouth of teens today, because when teenagers say to us what their needs are and we're not meeting them, one thing I want to say to our radio audience, our teens, and everybody that's listening, I think if you ask Coach Lily, now what do you think is the major concern, or what do you think the major problem is? I would say if there was a one word that I could use, I would say maybe it's a feeling of being loved. And I want to say that love, when I talk about love with teenagers, it's not the romantic love and all of that. It's loving yourself. It's being accountable to you. It's being a self-advocate. And an advocate is, teenagers, you're fighting for you. You're fighting for your life, what makes a difference with you. You're fighting for your goals, your aspirations. You're fighting for everything that helps you to be a better you. That's what self-advocating is. And we'll talk about that a lot in our upcoming radio shows. We talked about that some yesterday with Dr. Wanda Dawson. She's a retired superintendent from one of our schools. And when we're talking about teens, that's one word we use. When we use the word self-advocate, we're talking about you taking responsibility. And sometimes our teens, Jameer said, they think they know everything and they think they know it all and they've got all the answers. But we're asking teens today to seek the help and the advice of others. Pastor Squire, you had a resource that you were going to share with this radio audience, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am. The resource will be coming out of Raleigh, and if you would like to get the information, send the request in to Coach Lily, and I will email you the name and the telephone number and the resources to how you can get information on teens helping teens.
Okay, we'll hold on to that. And before the show ends, we'll give you all a number that you can call in for some help with the teenage problems and struggles that we're having today.
Yes.
We asked teens
that number.
Okay.
That number would be, let me go ahead and give it to you right now.
Okay.
That number would be 8-605-427-5353. And you also can call.
Okay, again, that number is?
605-427-5353 and 252-213-4822.
Thank you so much, Pastor Squires, and I'm sure our radio audience are holding on to those numbers, and those are numbers that we can call to get help and to get some ideas and any other thoughts that we need to get some clarification on this morning. Now, Zaire, we've got about another minute before we go to break. Is there something you want to share with this audience before we go to break, or do you want to wait until after we come back?
I'll wait till after we come back.
Okay. Do know, radio audience, that we're sharing information and we're sharing conversations with you directly from the mouth of our teenagers. They're telling us what they think, and what is going on with one teen might not be the same with another teen. So when we look at all our situations today, before I go to break, one teen mentioned to me that the biggest struggles that he see in our whole society today is a political problem. And that means he is just in tune with our social, governmental kinds of things that's happening, even with him as a teenager. So we know that teens are having difficulties. We know that they're having external and internal struggles. We know that they're going through hormonal changes. We know that they're encountering present day problems and situations that were not in the past. With all our social media and internet connections and the way we're able to get information so quickly and around the world, our teens are really doing a wonderful job, I think, existing as well as they are with some of the other situations that they're having to deal with. Do know that, look, we love our teens. We love our teens. We appreciate our teens. And what we're going to do is everything that we can do to transform our teens into the people that they're aiming to be, and come back for more tools for teen transformation after our break. Don't touch that dial. We're waiting for you to come back. More information, Tools for Teen Radio.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
All over the country, we're seeking ways to stop just one more teen school shooting, to stop just one more teen suicide, just one more teen pregnancy, and just one more teen drug and alcohol addiction. Policies, rules, and regulations will not change teen behavior. The one known research-based strategy to change teen behavior is to change what and how teens think. As a result of using the concepts, ideas, and strategies outlined in Tools for Teen Transformation, teens have fallen in love with themselves, raised their self-esteem, made better choices, and changed their behaviors. They are living productive lives. Look for the book Tools for Teen Transformation coming soon, and to be announced first at Coach Lily's website, perfectingdestiny.com. You may also visit her website if you would like to support the cause of empowering youth, teens, and young adults to love themselves and add value to their lives and everyone around them. That's perfectingdestiny.com. And be sure to look for Coach Lily's upcoming book.
Are you a game changer in disguise? Are you tired of waking up every day saying, they soar like eagles and I'm stuck in the nest? Well, wonder no more. It's time to soar. Of the world's millionaires, billionaires, and game changers, almost all started with at least one unique idea. Join Crystal for a controversial look at triumphs, tragedies, tools, and secrets for living a fun, financially free life with her successful guests. Listen to Soaring with Eagles, Tuesdays at 8 a.m. Pacific Time on Voice America Empowerment. And get ready to soar.
Do you sometimes feel powerless over your own life? Does it seem like you're living for someone else, unsure of what your purpose is, or if you even have an important voice? It's time to take back that control. Tune in to Empowered with Des and Jen. They've been in the same place and have learned to regain control of their lives. They also feature amazing guests who share experiences of how they have found success. Start on your journey by listening Mondays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on Voice America Empowerment.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are tuned in to Tools for Teen Transformation with Lily Williams. Reach out to Coach Lily via email at perfectingdestinylifecoach@gmail.com. That's perfectingdestinylifecoach@gmail.com. Now, back to Tools for Teen Transformation.
Thank you, radio audience, and we are back. Tools for Teen Transformation Radio. I am your host, Lily Williams, and today our guest is Pastor Sherry Squires, and our teen guest is Zamir Harris. We are still talking with you. We're sharing ideas and information about actual conversations from teens in different areas of what we know that they're having problems with and how that we can help them on this morning. We know we don't talk a lot about, we try to stay very positive in our conversations, but there are issues that we really need to deal with. Pastor Squire said sometimes our teens feel misunderstood and their thoughts are not validated and things like that. Now, and I just mentioned to you that one of the things I think is all of teens want to be loved, they want to be cared for, and they want to be a part of. And when I say that, the first thing comes to my mind is gang association, gang that are not helpful gangs. So when we talk about gangs, we're usually not talking about, gangs as it referring to just people of like audiences. Now, Pastor Squires and I talked some about the gangs when the children were discussing with us. Pastor Squires, we talked with children and they said it was very difficult to get out of gangs. They said what gangs meant and they thought that they had to be in them. Talk with our radio audience about our conversation concerning the gangs with our students and teens.
Yes. If the student or the teen if they're very frightened that something may happen to them if they try to get out, you can also go where you will be secure, which is Job Corps. They will offer you security while you're there, and also you will be able to get your high school diploma, and you also will have a job. So if you're thinking of security, Job Corps would be security for you. And knowing that you have made a decision, and that's the best decision for you, there are resources that can help you and make you feel secure.
That was good, Pastor Squires. That was good because, see, when we're talking with the teens, it is so difficult for us to say because we're not associated with it and we don't have that same knowledge about gang activities. And we say, well, just get out. Well, you can get out or just don't go anymore. but it's not that easy. And Pastor Squires had mentioned to our radio audience one surefire way to get away and to get out would be, what was that again, Pastor Squires? Job Corps? Job Corps. Is that the same as like a boot camp or something? I would imagine we could name them anything, but the Job Corps gets them away. Is that right?
Yes, they would be at the facilities, and the facilities is secured, and they would have to report at certain times, and even when they go out, they would be chaperoned. So it is security at all times.
I can appreciate that. So we said to our teens this morning that there is a way out. And Pastor Squires has given you a good way out today. It changes your whole environment. It puts you in a place to start all over again. And that's wonderful. Pastor Squires, thank you so much for that strategy that some people may not have even thought about. Thank you so much for that strategy to help us to get kids transformed and to change their thought processes and their mind and to make better decisions. We also talked about, let me ask either one of you, is there another situation that teens have discussed with us that we want our radio audience to know today, Zaire or Pastor Swire? Okay, well, with everything that's going on with our teens this morning, every challenge that they've got, every concern that they've got, what I would ask Zaire, what I want to ask you is, what do you think that teens can do for themselves today? I mentioned a little bit about self-advocate. You being a teen, what would you recommend to teens today to, maybe to keep being in a safe environment? Or what do you recommend to them that they could always be on their A game, being positive? What are your recommendations? And talk with us about that, Zaire, please.
We need to improve our attitudes, listen to our parents more, and be obedient, be willing to work for whatever we want to achieve in life.
You've said it in a nutshell. I've written down attitude. I've written down listen to the parents. What else did you say?
Being obedient. Being willing to work for whatever you want to achieve in life, and respecting yourself and others.
Now that is one word that I've written down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you just said. I'm going to pick that one to say respect, because I hear that all the time. Teens say, when we talk to them about respect, the one thing they say, oh, you got to earn respect to get respect. They say those kinds of things. Zaire, you being a teen this morning, talk with me about what you think respect means from a teen perspective. Talk about respect, that word.
Listening, taking instructions, and moving forward.
Okay. Listening, teens, because you just said teens don't like to listen. They think they know everything. Taking instructions from adults and other, your parents, the pastors, youth leaders, counselors, taking instruction from adults that are in your lives, adding value to your lives. That is certainly respect. And when you talk about respecting others and respecting yourself, Zamir, do you think there's a difference, or does respect mean respect?
Respect means respect.
Great. You're exactly right. That's what I would think too. And I'm so glad you said that as a teen. Respect means respect. That means that you know what? When, Zamir, if you respect yourself, do you think that you would respect others?
Yes.
I do too. And I think if you respect yourself, There are certain things you're not going to do, say, certain places you're not going to be as a teenager. You think I'm on point, Zaire?
Yes.
Okay. And if you respect yourself, Zaire, you finish my sentence. What else might you not do as a teenager? You say the sentence, if I respect myself, and finish it.
If I respect myself, I respect others. And others will respect me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you respect yourself, then others will respect you too. That's wonderful. There is another scenario that I shared with Zaire, and Pastor Squares and I talked about it. If there is a teenager getting ready to go to college, really good grades, he's being sought after by different universities because he's such an excellent wrestler. And what is happening with this wrestler is that there are people in the community that has secured his services to be wrestling illegally. So when the parent finds out, the son tells her, he says, but Mom, I have to do this because they're paying me so good. We're having money to do extra things, and Mom, I am helping you. The mother's response is going to be, what do you think, Zamir? What do you think that mom's response is going to be with her son doing illegal things, and there's no telling when he will be charged with those kind of illegal activities, and that's going to do something to the scholarship? Tell me what you think the parent is going to say to that son, Zamir.
He would tell him to stop. For
sure. And why do you think he's going to, what kind of rationale do you think mom is going to have when she tells the son, no, you can't do that, you must stop this immediately? What is she going to tell him why she wants him to stop?
Because she don't want his name tarnished.
You're absolutely right. She does not want him to have a criminal record, and she doesn't want his name tarnished. You're absolutely right, Zamir. And that's one thing that Coach Lily, Pastor Squires, and all adults in your lives want for you. They want you to graduate, go to high school, college, get on your jobs free of an illegal charge, free of a record. We don't want your name tarnished. And in a case like that, when we talked about that scenario, that teenager has so much to lose. Scholarship privileges, he's going to lose his freedom to the point that he's not going to be able to enjoy a lot of things that other teens will be enjoying because of his illegal record. Certainly that will be pulling his scholarship. He's not going to be getting that scholarship. And his future is not going to be as bright as it would have been had he kept working with the coach, getting better and better every day, and getting ready to go to college or ready to go to the wrestling career respectfully and at the legal path that it takes. Mom would be so much willing to wait for the down the road blessings than the right now disenfranchised working with that kind of money. Okay? Now, we are still talking about what teens say. Is there something else that teens have said to us, Pastor Squire, that we want to let this radio audience know today?
Could you repeat that, Coach?
Is there something else that our teens have talked with us about that we want this radio audience to know today?
Well, the only other thing that they talked about was that they have a lot of issues with people having issues with their dress attire as far as their pants, and they just wanted to emphasize that why is it such a problem with the way that they wear their clothes.
And that's an issue. And you know what I read? Some of our radio audience is saying, is that just a problem? But the problem is what Zamir said today, that they think that they know what they need to do. It's the same thing Pastor Squire said, that they're not feeling heard and they're not feeling validated. Now, yes, what teens wear is certainly an issue with them. And what I would say to teens, being a life coach, is this, that we would ask you to dress for the occasion. We would ask you to always be at your best. We want you to certainly be comfortable, but we want you to, what we call, dress for your future. Can you do that? Dress not just like you're going to be today, even if you're in a school setting, in the community, or wherever you are. Dress the way you would like to be seen in your future. Can we do that, teens? Can we do that? I think we can. And there's so many issues that our teens are working with today that they really need help with. So from the mouth of teens, we're going to be still discussing things that are going on with teenagers. We're still discussing the challenges, and we're giving them ideas to add value to their lives. I appreciate Zamir saying what you need to do is your attitude. And when we come back, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about teen attitudes. We'll talk about, Zamir said, being willing to work. We'll talk about, Zamir just said to us as teens that we have to listen to our parents and adults. Stay with us for more Tools for Teen Radio and Teens Helping Teens. From a teen perspective is what you're listening to this morning. I am your host, Coach Lily Williams. I am CEO of Perfecting Destiny Coaching Services, and we are here this morning to transform teens, to give them ideas, strategies, mindsets, thoughts, and decisions, help them to make better choices. Come back for our ending segment with Pastor Squires and Zamir Harris. We're looking for you back.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
All over the country, we're seeking ways to stop just one more teen school shooting, to stop just one more teen suicide, just one more teen pregnancy, and just one more teen drug and alcohol addiction. Policies, rules, and regulations will not change teen behavior. The one known research-based strategy to change teen behavior is to change what and how teens think. As a result of using the concepts, ideas, and strategies outlined in Tools for Teen Transformation, teens have fallen in love with themselves, raised their self-esteem, made better choices, and changed their behaviors. They are living productive lives. Look for the book Tools for Teen Transformation coming soon, and to be announced first at Coach Lily's website, perfectingdestiny.com. You may also visit her website if you'd like to support the cause of empowering youth, teens, and young adults to love themselves and add value to their lives and everyone around them. That's perfectingdestiny.com. And be sure to look for Coach Lily's upcoming book.
If you've always wanted to take the lead in your life, but you don't believe you are a leader, then it's time to change that mindset. Leadership expert Linda Patton will help you discover the powerful leader that lives within and teach you the leadership skills that will transform your business and your life. Stepping into your leadership brings reality to your vision, and leadership can be learned. Find out more on Leadership Stars. Every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Are you frustrated that you can't seem to achieve your goals? Stop struggling and discover your power on Creatrix, Creating the Life You Want, hosted by Amira Mondin. This show features the world's most intriguing guests, ready to guide you to self-realization using the powerful gift of your own mind. Tune in every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, right here on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Think you've seen everything there is to see in online television? Let us surprise you. Visit VoiceAmerica.tv today for sports, health, business, and more on demand 24/7.
You are tuned in to Tools for Teen Transformation with Lily Williams. Reach out to Coach Lily via email at perfectingdestinylifecoach@gmail.com. That's perfectingdestinylifecoach@gmail.com. Now, back to Tools for Teen Transformation.
I'm so glad that you are back with us. We are still talking about, we're still sharing ideas. We're still getting some good information from a teen today. We're talking about teens helping teens. And Pastor Squire and I are just facilitating. We are certainly respecting Zamir's responses to us today. This show, we're going to be accepting responses that teens have given us, and we're also going to be giving them some ideas, some suggestions, helping them to change their mind, and some choices to add value to their lives. That's what Tools for Teen Radio do. Now, at this time, Pastor Squires is said that she is going to have a question for Zamir. She wants to talk with this teen, and our radio audience is going to hear their discussion. Go ahead, Pastor Squires.
Zamir, as a parent of a teen, what do you suggest that we could recognize that our child is reaching out to us and need us to take a moment to listen and just stop what we're doing and listen to the teen, so that way the parent and the teen can have a better understanding towards each other?
You can sit down and talk.
That's wonderful.
Maybe ask how their day, stuff like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any suggestions that you can give us as a teen on how we can recognize, knowing that our teen is trying to reach out to us besides rebelling? Is there anything else that they need to be looking out for to give them some type of recognition to notice that their child is reaching out for them?
The way they act. Maybe they may do things for attention.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful, wonderful. That's great. Yes. And what would be one of a teen acting out in the area of having friends that are not good friends for them? What is one way that, as a parent, we can let our child know, instead of getting them upset like we're trying to choose their friends for them, what is a way that we could let them know so they will not get offended? Is there anything that you could suggest that could help us as parents?
Not really.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Pastor Squires.
I was just going to say, Zamir, what do you suggest as a parent, besides sitting down, talking with them, and giving them some of our quality time? What would be another good way to have more communication with our teen so that they can be able to express themselves more?
Spending time with them, doing activities together.
Yes. Great. Thank you, Zamir.
Thank you, Pastor Squires, and thank you, Zamir, for those responses to our teen radio audience this morning, and my parents. Pastor Squire wanted to make sure that we touched on the parents being a very influential piece of what our teens are going through. When we're talking about the top 10 struggles that teens face today, I did read an article, Pastor Squire and Zamir, and the article said the very same things that we're talking about this morning. Amy Morin, who is a licensed social worker, and that article came from Very Well Family. And the article stated the problems and the challenges that teens are having today is still drug abuse and alcohol use, sexual activity, bullying, depression, academic problems, peer pressure, social media, and on-screen violence, the TV. And Zaire mentioned to us some of the conversations that he's already had with our teens. Pastor Squire, you and I talked about there's not one over the other.
That is correct.
Okay, there's not one problem that is difficult over the other. So
that is correct.
Okay. Talk with us about that. All of the problems and challenges that teens are experiencing are real to them, and there's no one that we could isolate from the other. Talk with us a little bit about that, please.
No, there is none of them one more than the other, because they all play a part in their lives and all plays a part in our society. And most of all, the understanding is very important. That's within every place that they go, no matter where they are. There should be an adult that needs to have the understanding to know that when we are looking at our teen and we want that teen to be the best that they can be, that means that we have to set an example. And sometimes, instead of when we see someone doing something that is not quite right, we need to approach them in a way that if we were to give them a suggestion, that they will hawking their ear to it and listen to the suggestion versus just going at them in a situation. So what we have to do, we have to, as parents, and I know we're talking about teens, helping teens, but also before we, as parents, can help the teen, we also have to make sure that we're helping them in the right way. And as far as the teen is concerned, when it comes to these issues, all of the issues are important because one may stand out more in one teen's life and a different one stand out more in another teen's life. But at the same token, they all are issues. And if we stand firm on them and we try to reach out to help the teen, and if the teen cannot talk to the parent, the teen will go to another teen. So therefore, we need to give the information and the literature out to the teens where if they were to help another teen, that they will give them the correct advice. So what it all in a nutshell is that we need to be a positive resource as teens, as adults. We need to turn the negatives in this world into positives, so then that way we can help the teens, and no matter what. And another teen can also be a positive person in another teen's life. And basically, it's like we're sharpening each other.
Okay. I appreciate that. Now, you said that sometimes teens turn to other teens. When I was reading the CNN report, every response they had almost said that their biggest challenge they think for today is, Pastor Squire, is that teens are trying to fit in. And you just mentioned that they turn to other teens for validation and for other reasons. So, Zamir, you are a teen, you're in a school setting, you're in the community. When we say that kids just want to fit in, do you find that to be true? Kids just want, and I use the word in parentheses, fit in. I use the word in bold print, fit in. I use the word circle. They want to fit in. What do you think about that, Zaire?
I was in school one day and a kid had brought drugs to school to think so he can fit in. So they want to be accepted.
Yes, that is the word, being accepted and fitting in. That's what teens are all about today. So what we want to do at the end of our show coming up, we're coming up toward the end of our show, we want to leave our final thoughts with our teens and everybody that is listening today. Pastor Squires just mentioned we want to turn all of our negatives into positives. What we want to do, Zamir, I want you to take a minute, Zamir, and I want you to say what kids can do to be on their A game. I want you to say what kids need to think about. Tell us one more time, Zamir, what you think. Those 5 things that you talked about in section 2, started with the attitude. Tell us about them in 1 minute.
Kids can improve. We can improve our attitudes, listen more to our parents, be more obedient, be willing to work for what we want to achieve in life, and respect yourself and others, love yourself, and dress for success.
Wow. That's a hand clap to you, Zamir. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. We hope that you have certainly enjoyed Tools for Teen Transformation this morning. Want to wish all of our radio audience, wherever you are, all over the world, if you're celebrating Thanksgiving is coming up, be thankful for every good and perfect gift that you're getting, just the gift of life. We want to thank you so much. And next week, come back for Tools for Teen Transformation. We will be talking about academic success and how to get kids from a better place that they are now. Tools for Teen Transformation. Please come by and let me thank my guest, Zamir Harris. Thank you so much. And my wonderful guest, Pastor Sherry Squires. Thank you so much for being on Tools for Teen Transformation on this morning.
Thank you for joining Coach Lily and Tools for Teen Transformation. You'll want to be here for another show next Tuesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Eastern on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Until then, use some of what you've learned today to start a dialogue and be there for someone. It just might save a teen's life.